Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Queer Peer Reviews, where we review queer media, good, bad, and ugly. I am Jamie, your host, and today with me is Bruce, my co-host.
Hello, and here at Queer Peer Reviews, we also review your favorite and not so favorite types of medias, from TV shows, movies, comic books, etc., that explore queer themes, characters, and story. So today we will be reviewing 3 LGBT animated short films. To start off, we are going to be reviewing Out, which is on Disney+. Out came out in 2020 and features a gay protagonist named Greg who has not yet come out to his parents.
Yeah, I get it. Came out.
Hey, yo!
So yeah, it was really cute. I think it was like an 8-minute short film, Disney+. So Greg has not yet come out to his parents about his boyfriend, and his parents are helping him move out of his house. But I don't think that was it. They were not moving out of the house. He was.
He was moving out?
Yeah, I think he was moving out. They're helping him pack or unpack.
Oh, cool.
Couldn't do a fact check.
Fact check. The magical cat and dog, remember?
So wait, is he?
I think he's good.
You think?
So Greg is actually moving out of his house, and his parents come over to help him after his boyfriend leaves. And in his drawer, he has a framed photo of him and his boyfriend. I forget the boyfriend's name, but his parents come over without any warning, and he scrambles to put the photo away, but his parents are very like, let me open this and help you out with this. So it's really Greg trying to figure out the words, or just to hide the fact that he is gay to his parents.
It becomes a conflict, but the magic aspect of it is that a magical cat and dog show up,
like guardian angels.
Sort of like I guess like guardian angels, or sort of like choosing his character to help. I guess sort of help, but also teach him a lesson of some sort. So what happens eventually is that Greg swaps basically his mind with his dog, and it becomes sort of like a little funny fiasco.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you'd imagine if like a dog was in a human's body. He's kind of just like.
So it's also humorous. It also helps Greg in a way that because he's a dog, the mother starts talking to the dog, and then starts explaining that she actually wants to talk to Greg. Similar to the situation. Yeah. And one of the most, I guess, important dialogues that show up when mom is like, because she's also solving the fact that, trying to think of like words of dialogues, is that she mentioned the fact that whoever like you be with, I hope he makes you happy. So she says he, and then Greg as a dog realizes like, oh, like she knows. Like, yeah. She has the idea that Greg is gay. Yeah, and I feel like that's really important. So it's not necessarily one of those things where it's like, oh, like, we could always tell. I think it's just mom is happy for whatever Greg's, like, future partner is, whether that is a man or a woman, non-binary person, etc. But just like Greg, mom's also having a hard time finding words to, because that was what was happening in that scene. Yeah, which I feel like is very realistic, because you know what you want to say to your parents, but having the words come out, I feel like, is the hardest part of coming out, which this short film is about. Even Greg's boyfriend was also trying to push Greg to, like, you need to tell them, because I guess the relationship got so much more evolved to the point where it's like they got to know at this point. Yeah, and you can't hide it forever. So instead of the five categories for ratings that we usually do, we're going to just narrow it down to 3, since we also have to deal with 2 animated shorts we have to deal with. So, and the 3 ratings will be originality, writing, and overall. All right, so for originality, we both have... pretend there's a dot here. This is a 7.5, not a 75. You really went for it. Okay, yeah, so I give it an 8 because... someone swapping minds with an animal, kind of, or even said, but for me it's a little more original because it's more of like it has a very important message behind it. It's not like a Cusco situation or anything. It's more just about basically like this building up this confidence. Yeah, the reason why I give it a 7.5 is I feel like I haven't come out to my parents yet. This whole story is about me trying to figure out how to come out to my parents. Has been done so many different times, but I feel like this did it justice. I feel like this is a good way to represent this story, but it's just been seen and done many, many times in different ways. But I gave it a 7.5 because the whole switching minds with your dog
to figure out how to come up through your
Yeah.
parents is definitely unique.
So on our rating for writing, it's
I give it an 8, you give it an
8.2.
8.2.
Think of a dot right here. Okay, so 8.2. Writing wise, I think it was kind of well. It was well done. Kind of well done. It's you know, kind of a bit of a realism. Well, I say realism when a guy switched with a dog. But when it comes to the interaction with the parents and the child, I did feel that the whole conflict with both sides. It's not. Most people think it's like, oh, it's always a conflict with, just the person who wants to come out, but there's also a conflict with the parents trying. It doesn't even have to be as like, oh, my kid is gay. It's more just like I want to express to them that I love them, but I don't know how to say it without, being like any awkward or saying the wrong way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like Bruce said, I feel like it's very relatable with the exception of turning and switching bodies with your dog. But I feel like it is a very relatable story coming out to your parents. Everyone who is part of the LGBT plus community has had to do it, if not already. But at some point, you either come out to somebody, and sometimes that's yourself. You come out to yourself, discovering yourself for the first time. But I feel like coming out to your parents is one of the scariest things because they're your parents. You don't know whether or not it's going to be the end of your relationship with your parents or it's going to just strengthen your bond. And in this case, it strengthens their bond, which I really liked.
Especially with the whole, and then like you could feel the anxiety even when he was just chasing after his human body with the dog's mind, and that's like, I guess it's this anxiety just rushing around.
Yeah, I feel like something a lot of people can relate to is just hiding their pride flag in replacement of hiding the picture of like their significant other. It's hiding your pride flag.
It's the relatability of like getting your mind switched with a dog.
No, I do not relate to that at all, and I hope I never do.
No, we never do.
And last but not least is our overall feelings towards Out, which is is that an 8 across the board?
That's an 8.
That's an 8, yay!
8 Out. There you go. It's a very strong 8. Very strong.
Yeah, like again, I feel like the only thing that is keeping me from rating it lower is that the whole aspect of switching bodies with your pet. I think it's a very common story, but I did enjoy it. It's very heartwarming.
Yeah, it was very heartwarming. I did enjoy it a lot too. I enjoyed like I guess the warm, sweet ending at the end with both parents. Even like when the boyfriend finally met the parents and the father embraced him with a big
that was really nice.
I got nervous with the father because usually fathers like,
he was a very scary, silent type of
Yeah,
man,
he
but in
was.
the end he turned out to be like a big teddy bear.
But that's everyone's favorite character design.
Yeah.
Our next animated short is called Clicker, directed by Charles Kugler, also known as SaintlyCharles, where it's a story about two boyfriends at a frat party or a college party, having an argument, and then eventually, because one of the it's object's head, so one of the boyfriends is a TV head, and he has a controller that controls his TV. While they're arguing, the TV remote gets stepped on, and they sort of fall into these huge like reference of TVs and other shows while they're arguing, and it becomes like a whole calamity of everything.
Yeah, one thing I really liked about like the whole situation of them going to different like TV shows, it reminded me like a lot of those old cartoons where like that does happen in a lot of old cartoons where they just go into different cartoons that exist. Like Family Guy will go into like American Dad, SpongeBob.
Fairly
like
Odd Parents did that too. It was I enjoyed it a lot, especially because of the references. But also the big message behind it is like the whole arguing, like the whole relationship. So like you see a lot in like most TVs and medias, like they try to make like two queer characters, try to make a relationship work.
Yeah.
What was different from here, and I did like about it, was that there was the more realistic aspect is that some relationships don't work out. And you think because they're going through all of this and the argument, you think they would have come to a solution.
Yeah.
It's not a good solution, but at least the one guy with the TV head, I really forgot the names. My apologies, but I really loved was that he sort of came to the conclusion is that we just can't work this out.
Yeah.
And they cut it off completely. And it just ends with him walking on the credits, just him walking off.
Yeah, when you first sent me that was not the short film I was expecting. Like, I was kind of blown away by the animation and how unique it was because...
Especially as a student film. It was really well.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out. But yeah, I thoroughly really enjoyed
We'll be
it.
including the link as well.
Yes, all the short films we'll be reviewing. There'll be links with the exception of Out because that is
The
you
Disney
need an account
Plus.
for that. So for originality, we are giving it.
I give it 8.7.
I give it a 9 because I was like I said, I was blown away by that. I was not expecting that whatsoever.
And especially with the whole ending with the relationship not working out, where most people will think, oh, it's going to work out in the end.
Yeah,
it really doesn't.
Yeah.
I do give it 8.7 because traveling through different TV shows, I love. I do love that. I love those like references and moments and all that. A lot of it has been done before, but I did like the originality with the TV head and him using the controller on him. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what the inspiration for like using those type of like objects as characters was.
There's a lot to it, but I really did enjoy it. And everybody had different objects. I think one was a stapler.
Yeah, and everybody's like functions were based off of like and their dialogue too. Like the one boyfriend is a radio, right? And his language is beatboxing.
I think that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And on to the writing. I give it a 9.7.
I'm sticking with my 9. I really like it was executed very well. It's very original, like we just talked about, and I think just overall, like it was really well done. Yeah,
and they managed to make it creatively with like them arguing with each other. There were scenes like I guess they made a reference to Neon Genesis where he was like crying on the chair because that was like his anguish with his argument, and then they went to like the Spanish channel and they were arguing in Spanish. I think that was like really well done how they went through through the shows, but also incorporate their argument in each other's references. And
very, very excellent student film. Amazing.
Amazing.
Next, we have our overall feelings towards Clicker, and I give it a 9.5.
I give it a 9.
Yeah, like I would watch this multiple times over again because I just really enjoyed it. It was very entertaining to watch. Like I said, it was unexpected.
Yeah, but as an artist who also studies animation, I rewatched it a couple of times too, just to like see like how they did some of the scenes, and I really enjoyed it a lot. It was a fun watch.
Our last animated short for the day is called In a Heartbeat. It is a YouTube video that was released in 2017, and it was created by Beth David and Esteban Bravo with over 50 million views. So this short film was actually one of the first short films I ever watched before I came out that actually involved like queer themes without it being something along the lines of a butt of a joke or just throwing in a gay character there. This is one of the first ones I saw where it's just the whole thing is based around being gay. The only reason why I discovered this film when it first came out is because it was all over Facebook, good, bad reviews of saying, why would they show something like this? And then a lot of people saying, I'm so glad there's finally something like this out here to show people. And it involved 2 kids, and I think that's why a lot of people got mad.
I guess that's what happened. I remember it was trending. Everybody was going crazy for it. Everybody was talking about it, and I remember watching it, and I thought it was very well done. Because people don't realize that in the real world, is that people think like, oh, you know, kids are being taught to be gay. It's like, no, that's not true. At a young age, kids have already started getting feelings and started like figuring out what they are. And that's what represented in this film is that, you know, people's feelings, but also the fear of being known. If this was just like a boy and a girl, they wouldn't be as scared.
Yeah,
it would
not a single eye would have been.
No, right? And that's what happened later on in the scene is like, it started off as like this boy's heart comes to life and it's like wants to go near the boy he has a crush on, and it becomes like this little like goofy thing. It was just like, oh, grabbing his heart and making sure it doesn't get shown to the boy. And then they go into the school where he sort of like trips and like falls onto the boy.
Yeah.
And they get sort of like get stared at by the rest of the students.
It just becomes a whole nightmare for this kid.
Yeah, and it becomes a whole fear. It's like, oh, like, you know, I don't want to be known. And it ends on a nice note where the boy he had a crush on comes back, sees him under the tree, and they both hang out from there.
And the heart gets repaired. So for originality, I'm basing it off of originality for the time it came out in 2017, not now. I give it a 9.5. You gave it a
9.6.
9.6 just to be slightly better than me. The reason why I didn't give it a 10 is because it's your basic story of somebody has a crush on somebody, they don't want that person to know, and then class humiliation when people start to realize, oh, so-and-so has a crush on this person. But I'm giving it a 9.5 because during the time, like I said, there was nothing else really like this, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was just very good for the time it came out.
Especially after gay marriage was legalized. So when this came out, we were sort of getting more representation happening.
It was very fresh.
It was very fresh. I did enjoy a lot. So that's why I gave it a 9.6. For the writing category, we give it I gave it 8.7.
I gave it an 8. I only gave it an 8 because I feel like it's very straightforward. Like I said, we've seen this story before, except with hetero couples. It's very straightforward. I don't think it's anything too out there. It's very. I don't want to use the word basic because I feel like nowadays basic is used as a very negative term.
I give it 8.7 because there was zero dialogue, but I usually think of writing with dialogue. But ultimately, it relied on visual emotion, and it was conveyed very, very well, very perfectly. You know exactly what they're feeling, what they're thinking, especially when it comes to the students looking at them. You felt that oh no.
Yeah, the message was clear what the message was, and it was delivered very well. This is what we're saying. So last but not least is our overall rating for this short, and we both give it a 9. Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it. It's something I could have used a long time ago just to figure myself out. It was really great for the time it came out, and it's still great now. But I think just in 2017, spur of the moment, it was just what everybody of the community needed.
And for me, just the message was there for me. This was also before I came out, and it really spoke to me. But also because it was still I guess early. We were still in the early times after gay marriage was legalized. Things were getting high and over there. It was still I love this, but it's also I'm scared to say anything yet. But I really liked it. It's inspirational.
So let's see our total for our first film, which was Out.
For Out, we got a 47.7 out of 60.
Out of 60. Okay.
For Clicker, we had 54.9 out of 60.
Okay, that's really good. I think we really like Clicker.
Yeah, we did like Clicker a lot. I like it a lot.
And for In a Heartbeat, we have 53.8 out of 60.
Ooh, In a Heartbeat beat Clicker. Both very good. All three of them are really good. Like I said, we're going to include the links in the description below. Out is on Disney+. The rest are on YouTube.
So that's the second episode. Another positive note. We will be including, though, very soon, some very worst representations.
Yeah. But again, in the description below, we will have links to donate to the Trevor Project along with other abortion clinics that you can donate to. Please let us know what you think. Episode 3 and 4 will be coming shortly. Please don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram.
And if there are any other causes that you think we missed and we should put a link to, let us know in the comments.
Thanks for watching.